Winds of change with the Windman. Give me the things you will have your eye on and we should be following as the offseason begins next week.
So, Greeny, free agency is not that big of a thing this year. There's only a few, difference-making free agents, and there's not much salary cap space. So the bulk of the offseason action is likely going to happen in this next week, in and around next Wednesday and Thursday's draft. So expect to see action and the major roster maneuvering in this period, not so much the first week of July, which is what we were used to. Now, as far as the signings mattering, there is something interesting with signings, but it's going to be about extensions. What players extend their contracts, and what does that mean? If a player extends, great. If he doesn't extend, now we've got a problem. And that's going to start with Luka Doncic. Luka cannot extend right now. He's got to wait until August 2nd or after. But the Lakers need to make sure he gets into a contract, Greeny. It's a vital thing. He has 1 year left after this year. He can opt out next summer. The Lakers don't want to have that happen. They feel pretty good. They have a new owner. They got to get that. They got to get that done, and they have a month to show him that they're going to get their roster in a really good place. Also, Nikola Jokic can sign. Now, I'm not worried about Nikola Jokic. He's a low drama player. He's got 3 years left on his contract. But right now, the Nuggets don't even have a general manager. They seriously have not named a general manager replacement to Calvin Booth, who they fired 2 months ago. And the draft is next week. Ben Tenzer is their acting general manager. Is Jokic cool with everything that's going on? He'll let everybody know if and when he signs that contract extension. And then this one is really super interesting, Ja Morant. Now, Memphis is in the middle of some level of change. They changed their roster around by trading Desmond Bane last week. Ja Morant has 3 years left on his contract. Again, I'm not sitting here saying that this is a referendum on his entire career. But my question is, are the Memphis Grizzlies offering Ja Morant a contract extension? Because if they don't, what does that say? Actions over words. And now I want to bring it to the big trade of this next week, which is Kevin Durant. This is obviously going to probably control a lot of what happens next week. Durant is on the trade market. The Suns are very active on the trade market. Greeny, I have been talking about the triangle for months, the Durant triangle, the alignment that you need of a place that Durant wants to go, a trade that comes back that the Suns will do, and a contract understanding. Either the team trading for him being comfortable with him on a 1-year deal, or the willingness to give a 37-year-old a 2-year, $100+ million contract extension. And I know the way Mad Dog has referred to this. He seems to think that it's most important that Durant agrees and that the Suns are trying to make Durant happy. That's not it. That part of the triangle is predicated on the team making an offer if Durant doesn't want to be there. If you think Durant's going to be a rental, you are offering less. The Suns want a premium price, and that's why they've been trying to work with Kevin Durant, and that's why that's a key thing to watch in the next few days.
And if you saw, that's the interesting piece of it here. And if you saw Shams yesterday on McAfee's show, he said neither the Suns nor most of the other teams want this to make it to the draft. They want this deal done ASAP. The draft begins on Wednesday, so this is imminent here. Let me start with you, Markeith. Tell me where you'd like to see Kevin Durant be playing by the time we get to this time next Friday.
Me personally, same thing I said earlier. I would like him to be playing South Beach, man. I think it sets up perfectly to be on a team with guys like Bam Adebayo that does it all, right? The culture of winning in Miami. You have another elite scorer in Tyler Hero, but he could step right in and be the ultimate scorer that he has been, right? And there's no shots at other coaches. For the little bit of time that I played in Miami, that was the best brand of basketball that I've been a part of. Spo does a great job of getting the best out of guys, and I think that's the perfect spot for him, man. The East is wide open, and, he can flourish there.
I just hope that UD's smile alone is not considered tampering. I think that would be my only concern here. UD, I don't know exactly what you're allowed to say about this, but what are your thoughts on Kevin Durant? He'll be 37 in September with the opportunity to get traded here in the next couple days.
The 3 teams that I'm hearing Houston, I'm hearing Minnesota, and obviously we're here in Miami. And I look at all 3 of those situations, and I see a situation that can work for KD. You look at a team in, Houston, where there's a young team, but they were top of the West last year. They had the 4th-ranked defense. He can come in. Ime Udoka is definitely the leader of that young squad. They're building a culture there so he can come in, just fall in line, and just be who KD is. You look at Minnesota, you put them next to Ant-Man. This is a team who, I feel like last year or 2 years ago, they went to the Western Conference Finals, and then this particular season, they didn't get it done, but it was obvious and more glaring this particular playoff that they needed another scorer next to Ant-Man. And then you look at the Miami Heat, you look at the growth of Bam Adebayo, you look at the growth of Tyler Hero, and you look at Spoelstra, who is, in my opinion, the best coach in the league right now, and he can come into a situation where there's a culture. They're going to push him, but he can be comfortable. He can be your favorite player's favorite player and just be Kevin Durant. Give you that 50-40 and that 90 from the free throw line and just be a hell of a ball player.
What do you think, Alan?
I love UD's nicknames for coaches.
Yes.
What was that one?
Spoelstra.
It's just fantastic. We had a Tricky Ricky earlier. For Kevin Durant, it's got to end up being what's best, the best place to go to win versus the best place for him to go where he wants to go. This is going to be a compromise. It has to be, because if I'm Tim Connolly in Minnesota, I know that I'm a Final Four team the last 2 years. I get a guy like this, put him with Anthony Edwards. I could be a team that finally breaks through and gets to an NBA Finals with a finisher like him. But does he want to be in Minnesota? So I'm not paying a high premium when it comes to a trade price, on top of the fact that I might have to also give him a contract extension. So if you're there, you're waiting that one out. And then Houston, they're going to ask him to be a leader. Is that what he really wants to be at this point of his career? Than just a guy that can come in and be a finishing piece. I think Minnesota, this feels like the best situation, but does Kevin Durant want to go to Minnesota?
Wendy, how do you handicap it?
I think Houston is the team that can make the best trade and also is the best spot for Durant. And there's a connection there with Ime Udoka. Ime Udoka was an assistant coach for Brooklyn when KD was there. If Durant ends up in Houston, I think you've got a serious contender in the Western Conference there. However, Houston is really not motivated to dip into the stash of picks that they have. Specifically, guys, they have 2 future Phoenix Suns draft picks. That's what the Suns want back. They literally want some of the stuff back that they traded for Durant. The Rockets went out and acquired that stuff from Brooklyn with the possibility of making a Durant trade. But they don't want to pay that price right now. And they're basically wagering that the Suns' price will come down and they will make the deal. There's also the possibility, I should bring this up, that the Suns will get to Wednesday night and not like any of this and just hold on to him. Season doesn't start in 2 weeks. The offseason is starting now. They could just hold on to him, move past the draft, and see if situations change. I don't think that's what they want to do, but I don't think they also want to take a less than a premium offer for a prized future Hall of Famer.
Yeah, be interesting. And could it go into the summer? Could it go into the season? Could it go all the way to the trade deadline? Kevin Durant is clearly the biggest piece to be keeping an eye on as we head into the offseason. Meanwhile, our next WNBA, an underdog again. That is 10 wins in this postseason as an underdog, tied with the 2023 Heat for the most in the playoffs in the last 35 years. And of course, Indiana will have a chance to break that record in Game 6 because they are underdogs. Again, we have a really good squad put together this morning, and joining the conversation now from Indiana is our own Brian Windhorst. The Windman gets up with us here, and we always appreciate it. Before I get into some of the offseason stuff that I want to do, what was your takeaway last night? Neither you nor I were expecting what happened last night. Why did it go that way?
Well, I think this whole series has been defined by who can take care of the ball. I know it's a basic tenet, take care of the ball, but it's really been fascinating to watch. There's a stat in the NBA called SOT, steals and blocks.